Hey everyone, welcome to episode 173, Hula Hoop Parenting.
Meet our mom, Kelly Hutchison. She is a life coach. She is a child counselor. She is a teacher. She's a parent coach. And she's a mom to us. She will teach you to stop yelling at your kids. She will teach you to get your kids to listen. She will teach you how to never sleep with mommy guilt again. She will teach you how to be an imperfect mom, so you can help your kids be imperfect too. And have harmony in the home.
Did you hear the way that I said that? Hula Hoop Parenting. You know how I love alliteration. You know how I love analogies. And you know how I love visuals to teach you about what's going on in our four walls. Because we talk about this in Saturn parenting, how our life is kind of like, it's a Saturn and we're in the center of the Saturn. That doesn't mean we're self-centered. It just means we're in the center and we emote out energy. And then our first rung are the people that live within our four walls. And then our second rung is sometimes it's our family of origin. It's friends that are like family. It's the people that we're closest to, our most vulnerable relationships. And as we go out, it's kind of like when I watch true crime, whenever there's a crime, so to speak, they always look to the people that are closest to them first. And then they slowly but surely spider their way out to find out that degrees of separation and who could have done this, what was their motive, all those things. So you can see that when you're watching true crime, you can kind of see it in your life, because when we think about our life as Saturn, what happens is if we're not getting connection in our first rung or within ourselves first, and then within our first rung, we are so wired for connection that we look outside of ourselves and we look outside of that first rung to get that connection met. That's why a lot of people are connected to inanimate things like food, like TV, like social media, like their jobs, like alcohol, because we somehow trick our brain into feeling that we're getting connection from this inanimate thing, and we go further out. And that's why you'll see a lot of times when we're not getting the connection within ourselves first and or within our four walls and our first rung, that what happens is we sign up for all the things. We say yes to all the things because we want that connection so desperately. So we go so far out in our Saturn because it's safer, and then we just become over busy, addicted to busy, overscheduled, because we're still getting that connection. And if we slow down too much, we will feel that loneliness or we'll feel that boredom. And that's so scary for the brain. So it becomes addicted to busy. It becomes addicted to saying yes. It becomes addicted to social media, because what we're looking for is it within ourselves first and within our four walls. And if we're not getting it there, then we search externally. And that's why I'm always talking about how Kyle Cease teaches us how to live our life from the in to the out versus living our life from the out to the in. So with hula hoop parenting, it's kind of along the same lines. It's just a different visual. Because if you picture the people within your four walls, your most vulnerable, the most important relationships that you're ever going to have, because we're creating this legacy, assuming you have kids, but if you don't have kids, you have roommates. You have people that are feeding off your energy and feeding off your vibe, and vice versa. You're feeding off their energy and you're feeding off their vibe. And so when you think about your life as hula hoop parenting or hula hoop family, who's ever in that hula hoop, that really matters. Because if someone is down or someone's hurting or there's like a man down, it affects everyone in the hula hoop. Kind of like when Lily's playing volleyball, there was an injury yesterday and everybody on both sides of the team took a knee, and it got super quiet in the gym. So much so when the parents went out to see if she was okay, I started crying because the energy in that room was all of hoping that she's okay. And she ended up spraining her ankle. But at the time, before we even called out the trainer, it was super silent. Everyone took a knee and everyone was affected. Both sides of the team. The other team had just shown up, so they didn't even know this player. But everybody was affected because we were all in the same hula hoop in that moment. Think about your four walls that you grew up in. You were in that hula hoop and had no control over that hula hoop. And the energy that you were absorbing from your parents, your siblings, your grandpappy, whoever lived within your hula hoop, you had no control, no say. You just showed up and you didn't know any different. So if you had a bipolar parent, you just thought that was normal. And then you thought that it was normal that you were going to have to try to make mom or dad happy because they were having a good day or a bad day. If you had a parent who was an alcoholic, you don't know what an alcoholic is when you're 7 years old. You just know that sometimes dad's in a good mood, sometimes mom's not in a good mood. And when she has her drinks or he has his drinks, he's a little bit happier. You start to learn these things unconsciously through your hula hoop. Now, I don't talk about the hula hoop of your family of origin as a place of victimhood, just a place of awareness, because we are giving that same hula hoop energy, that same hula hoop vibes to our own kids, to our own family, to our own vulnerable relationships, who's ever living within our four walls. If you're friends with someone and then you go to live with that friend and now you're roommates, let's say in college, that is a much different relationship versus just hanging out and going to the beach together. Sharing a space changes the whole relationship, changes the whole dynamics. And a lot of times you don't know that until after you've already started living with a friend. So fast forward to when you're grown and flown, and now we're big people, and we have our own family, the energy in which we are absorbing from the people around us matters. The energy in which we are putting out really matters. Now, what happens is when we're in a hula hoop and we're feeling negative energy, feeling a critical energy coming at us, what happens is we match that energy. It's kind of like if I yawn, you'll probably yawn. If I start talking about a child in my classroom a couple years ago who had lice, your head might start to itch. If I start talking about a very juicy lemon, your mouth might start to water. It's that power of suggestion, that power of contagious energy. It really matters. And our kids are just mirroring back to us, not from a place of they're acting up and it's my fault, but more from a place of I can't control their energy. I can't control anybody else's energy within my four walls except for my own. And it's very tempting when we're having a tricky emotion, we're having a negative emotion, we're having a negative thought, we're having critical energy coming at us. It's very, very normal to want to change the people within our hula hoop. But I will tell you, I'll just speak in general terms, spouse and kids have their own free will. And once you allow them to have their own free will, it takes the pressure off of your shoulders that you have to control all the people within your hula hoop. You just have to control your side of the street and your hula hoop and the energy you're bringing within your hula hoop. And when you think about it as you're all traveling together, it's kind of like when the player got hurt, the whole team was affected. Even the other team was affected. So like if David's not feeling well, it affects the whole hula hoop. Not because we're going to catch it from him, but the energy he's emoting, which he shouldn't emote positive energy or good energy when he's not feeling well, is one that kind of brings everybody down. Now, this does not mean you always have to have good vibes only. It's just you're aware of it and you're more conscious of it because we spend so much time trying to control the people in our hula hoop. And then we end up more frustrated because we might say our children are very negative and they're always complaining. But in that moment, we are complaining and being negative about our children. So a lot of times what we're talking about other people doing is we're actually doing it ourselves. Like we might say, oh, he's so judgmental or she's so judgmental, as we're judging the person that we are saying is judgmental. We usually do the same thing that we're complaining about. We just don't realize it because we're unconscious. It's much easier to try to change the other person versus focusing on our side of the street. And I will tell you, once you take your power back and you take it away from the kids and the spouse, and you don't expect them to be or act or do in any way, it allows them to have free will. And when you give them their free will, then it allows you to have your free will as well. So the hula hoop analogy is just to have you be cognizant of it and be conscious of it and aware of who you're allowing into your hula hoop. But also when you are spending a lot of times ruminating and thinking about an ex or someone that hurt you or someone that betrayed you, what happens is you're actually allowing them in that hula hoop. Even though it's through your thoughts and feelings, you're allowing them in that hula hoop and it's against your own will. So when you're conscious about it, you're allowing the people into your hula hoop and the energy and the thoughts that you're spending to impact your hula hoop and the people within there. And when you do that, you will see it's like a balloon that has lots of tension in it and it's overfilled with too much air. You'll feel the tension start to light up. You won't feel like you're walking on eggshells. You won't feel so devastated because you're focusing on who's in your hula hoop, what thoughts are in your hula hoop, and then the energy you're emoting out is what you're going to get back. And then with that, you have much more harmony in the home. I love you guys and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Hey mamas, thanks for listening. If you had any ahas, clicks, or those lightning bolt moments while listening, you have to check out my free parenting bootcamp, where we take all of this to the next level and we try to create even more awakenings for ourselves so that we can connect more with our kids and never yell at them again. You can sign up at www.coachingkelly.com. And if you really want to fill up my love cup, send me an email of what your aha was, what your click was, what was that lightning bolt moment while you were listening. I want nothing more in life than for you to have harmony in your home and to learn how to be an imperfect mom like me, which allows your kids to be imperfect too, each and every day. Thanks for listening.